Were you aware that we had the a town council made up of union members, the communist, yeah?
Yeah, we know a little bit about the Workers' Council, and tell us some
Well,
recollections of it.
Well, it was in 1934, just a couple of years before I was born. But my great-grandfather was one of the Workers of the World Unite. Repeal Section 98, release the 8, fight reaction, join the Communist Party.
That's the town council?
That's the town council, yeah.
But
I was in Blairmore.
Boy, we wouldn't have had what we had.
No, that's right, yeah.
I don't know if you know that. I mean, I just want to speak to this, and I know that there's obviously this is political stuff, and people have their own opinions about it. But boy, there's a lot of people in the labor movement that really thought that have a lot of respect for some of the fights that went on down here, and whatever side you come at it from politically, that there was some huge gains that happened here, and it's great to talk about that. So if you want to tell us some stories or anything you know about that area, it's great.
Well, I don't know a lot about that, but I do know that scabs were scabs until my grandparents died. I brought a friend home, they're scabs. The friend wasn't a scab, but as far as my grandfather was concerned, they're scabs. You didn't hear that? No? Well, they lived through strikes. There was a big strike in 32? I can remember in grade 10, the social studies teacher talking about Abraham Lincoln. And he said Abraham Lincoln had said, government of the people, by the people, for the people. And I knew that my grandfather on his dresser had a photograph of Tim Buck. And under that photograph, it said, government of the people, by the people, for the people, Tim Buck. So, put my hand up, that's not true. Abraham Lincoln didn't say that. And that was one of the most humiliating days of my high school life, anyway. Yeah.
The people that were the communists that joined the party and their unions were people that were let down. The companies here were experiencing a time of good profits, and they're doing quite well. The rail still cold ribbon, and they were doing quite well. And the workers were not getting their fair share. They had poor work conditions. They did not have the money they needed to support their families. And they wanted to share that profit. And the American unions, United Mine Workers of America in particular, was the union in force here, sided with the companies and believed that the workers wanted too much. And so the communists seen an opening and came in, and the people left the American unions and joined the Canadian Communist Union for that fact. They came in and offered something, and because they did, the workers here started making gains. Shortly after, of course, they left that union and went back to United Mine Workers. And United Mine Workers at that time became a responsible union, responsible to the workers and not to the company, which they weren't in the 30s. They were more worried about collecting dues than they were about representing their workers. And this time in our history is what turned that around and got the Crowsnest Pass, the well shared basically. And we owe them people a lot of gratitude. They were people that didn't want something for nothing. They worked very hard for what they got and just wanted their fair share.